27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except that it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.
Hello and welcome to the 27-minute comedy hour, the show where we cram an hour's worth of comedy into less than half the time. I'm joined this week by the wonderful Kieran Harty, Ishi Khan, and Harry Wright.
Oh, right.
But first, in the news today, China has agreed to take steps with Europe to reduce its pollution, making Europeans wonder who's going to be making all their cheap shit from now on. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is determined to make a difference as well, and has started by flying John Kerry all over the world in a private jet.
Oh.
If only we could convert Air Force One to run on bullshit, huh? Together, China and America make up nearly half of global emissions. While America says it produces half of what China does every year, China says cumulatively, since 1750, you've produced over twice as much as we have, which seems like a pretty petty argument based on very arbitrary league that I really can't imagine is that accurate.
Bloody liars! Liars! Bloody liars!
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to move on to our first game, and our first game this week is a wonderful game of Crackpot Comment.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff here. Our first comment then. So in Crackpot Comments, I give my comedians a comment, but it's out of context. It's from one of the news stories of the week, and they suggest who or what is being commented on. We've got the first one. Actually, that should be the first one. We've got the first one: irresponsible, entitled behaviour.
Simon, is that something to do with Harry and Meghan?
Oh, yes, it could be, couldn't it? Oh,
I think that is on young people not social distancing in parks.
yeah, could be. Or is it China?
Good call.
Just China in general. I wasn't sure.
Well, actually, Simon, I think I know exactly what this is. This is French queue jumpers trying to steal our vaccines.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't sure if it was David Cameron's phone provider or Matt Hancock's accountant.
Ooh, let's see.
It's the same person.
I think it's Matt Hancock removing that Did you see where he removed that picture of the pub from his wall in his office where the pub landlord was from, but got the PPE contracts? The next day when he was on BBC News, the picture had been removed and just replaced with an art picture. I think it's that.
That's why we call it Matt the Twat.
Yeah.
Is it Dominic Cummings for taking David Cameron's initials?
Okay, well, my comics haven't guessed it yet, so maybe this one will help them out. I had a really good day.
I know that one. Meghan couldn't make the funeral.
That's either pubs opening or people being drunk while getting their vaccine.
I think that's an emoji. That's an emoji having a party.
Could be.
Yeah, I agree with Ishi. I think there's a big clue in the beer emojis, and that made me wonder, is it from the piss artist formerly known as Prince Harry? He's got a day away from Meghan, hasn't he?
Could be.
Okay then. Does anyone think they know the right answer, guys?
Well, it's the emojis, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Yeah. This is Pubs Are Back. Hooray!
Wow.
Guys,
why are people going on a night out in the day?
I don't know. Have you tried going out this week?
Yeah, true.
I couldn't get a drink.
Sorry, go on. You can get a drink. It's a great British resolve, isn't it? It doesn't matter what the weather is. Just wrap up warm. Take your heaters with you and drink so that you can be even hotter. Yes.
Can I just say, Simon, that I've got an issue with the way the media treat, young underage British drinkers, and I just don't see the big deal. This is just news for news sake, because we've been cooped up for months. We are a nation of social drinkers. The sun was out, and in my opinion, remember, this is for Britain, right? And I say, get out, get rat arse and get British hospitality back on its feet. Even if you end up on your back under a bush. You remember that picture of the girl lying in the gutter? Yeah. I couldn't have felt more proud at that moment when I saw that picture, because she was taking one for the team.
That's British culture, isn't it?
Yeah,
Get Britain,
absolutely.
British hospitality, get it back on its feet.
Absolutely. Yeah. What?
So we can see people in the gutter.
Has anyone made the most of the pubs this week? Anyone been out into the pubs?
I want to.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Some pubs in London are people booking in advance, and some of them are booked up till July.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is dedication to the pint. That's
dedication to binge drinking. I'm annoyed about it, but I'm quite proud of people.
There is a genuine excuse now, though, isn't there? Because there's been a lockdown for such a long time, so you can make up for it through binge. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true. Well, I found it quite entertaining, the two different versions of the reviews of it, because we had this was what the BBC went with. COVID lockdown eases, England buzzing after first night out, whereas the way the Daily Mail chose to describe it: carnage in the streets after Brits back outdoor pubs and restaurants after lockdown.
And they missed off something from there, didn't they, the Daily Mail? And Meghan is to blame for it all.
And the thing is, young drinkers these days, they're lightweights. I look at this and I think back, to when I was 21, 20, whatever. This is like pathetic.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Well, guys, this is lockdown that is finally easing, and yes, pubs are open. I had a pint in a glass that I didn't own. Hairdressers are also open, but I don't have such weaknesses. Not that everyone has got the hang of lockdown easing. Some shows, including Alicia Keys, Haim, and Mrs. Brown's Boys, have actually been booking gigs for before the next level of lockdown eases, which means that they wouldn't actually be able to legally perform them. Although, to be fair, I think performances of Alicia Keys, Haim, and Mrs. Brown's Boy would be greatly improved by locking the doors and not letting anyone inside. So, guys, this brings us on nicely to our stand-up round. And our stand-up round this week, we've hit our comics to give us the best 3 minutes of comedy they possibly can. I'm going to give my comedians a random topic, and they're going to have to be funny on that topic for us. And my first one is going to be surprises.
Ooh.
Who would like to take on surprises?
I'll do surprises. So hang on, just give me a chance to sort of So on surprise, it's not every day that you get the kind of stunning surprise I got last year when I discovered I'm Korean. And I was advertised for a comedy gig in Brighton as Korean Hearty. And the organizer apologized. She said it was a predictive text error. And I said, no, this is a miraculous comedy challenge, and I hereby accept. And by the way, for any of you skeptics, online, who are thinking, well, it's not immediately obvious that I'm Korean, and I don't even speak the language. Well, words just fail me. So, and also looking beyond, and looking at the people who are, got on tonight, I think I can summarize your willingness to look beyond that language issue in just one word: gullibility. No, so I'm excited to tell you that my research on Google has ticked some big boxes, for me. And the first one, as a nation, South Korea has got the #1 IQ on the planet. As a nation, South Korean men are the #1 drinkers on the planet. Double tick. And not only that, but they're closely followed by South Korean women, who can drink male Russian drinkers under the table. Get me a bloody ticket. I'm on the way. And some of you may not believe me when I tell you that South Korea is the #1 in the world for plastic surgery. And I wouldn't blame you because it's a bit of a stretch. I'm making you work for this. So, and not only that, South Korean men are the world's #1 users of men's makeup and body products. They're just rubbing it in now, aren't they? The most common greeting in South Korea is, "Have you eaten well?" Yes, I have. Thank you for asking. And it's the fastest internet connectivity in the world. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So anybody know what tetraphobia is?
No.
It's prevalent in Korea and South Korea. South Koreans share a pathological fear of the number 4 or numbers with 4 in it. And that means that in Korea, you're officially 39 for the next 10 years. Yeah? Stuff like 4-wheel drive, not in Korea. What do you do when you badly slice a golf shot? What do you say? What do you shout? 4. Not in Korea. Wherefore art thou Romeo? Not in Korea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kieran Arty! Okay then. That's going to give us our next topic. Our next topic, guys, is going to be me. I'd like to step in on that.
I'm happy to talk about me. Okay, so, hello. So I'm Ishi. I've had to recently give up my nickname. I say recently, it was a few years ago. And I wasn't very happy about it because I loved it. And I was named after an Egyptian goddess, Isis. So yeah, I had to give it up. It kind of cleared the speed dating room. But it did come in handy at one time when there was this massive queue outside the ladies' toilets. Yes, that day I went from ISIS to I piss. So migration has been a hot topic for a few years now, right? And I've noticed even Prince Philip is getting his badge on his final exit as an immigrant now. But the whole migration crisis, EU referendum, Brexit, Windrush scandal, and Priti Patel is really just making me think where I'm from, right? It's not something I've thought about before. It's not like I wake up in the mornings going, "Hey, I'm ethnic. Let's do ethnic." No, I don't go, "Oh, let me rub my eyes or yawn or stretch in an ethnic way." No, I just wake up going, "Hey, I'm alive, thank you. I'm Ishi. I must integrate. Because that's what happens when you're addicted to calculus. That's for mathematicians, just for you. So where I'm from is actually quite complicated, and I think it's because of pills my mum put me on. So they're pills that do exactly what it says on the tin. B complex. I'm particularly proud of that classic British pun, you see, because growing up in Zambia, there were no puns. Imagine the privilege you have. Gosh. So yeah, it's only taken me 10 years to write that pun. And it's also massive evidence of how well I've integrated.
Yeah.
So it's complicated where I'm from because I was born in Zambia. I dream in Shakespeare, and I have Indian roots. Ginger, turmeric, mooli. Okay. Mooli is an Indian radish, only it's not small and round. It's more like a cucumber, long and hard. Only it's hot and spicy, and it doubles as an organic rabbit. And on that note, guys, I love you, and this has been so fun just talking about me. Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, here she comes. Alrighty then, that's going to leave our last comedian with the topic of fellatio.
Okay. Give this a go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, recently I saw a recently I was waiting for a train at the station, and there was a safety message on the side of the platform that said, "Please stand back behind the yellow line to avoid being sucked off." It's such a weird it's such the whole concept of being sucked off is just deeply weird to me. Like off, like all the way off, like it's going to be taken off and removed and it won't be there anymore. It's just such a sort of, you never in any other part of language, in English language, we use off and on and sort of in and out consecutively. You can fill in the form or fill it out. You know, you can come in somewhere, come out somewhere. You can't be sucked on. It's not something, even though it sounds a lot more pleasurable, like it's not something that ever happens. I think we've all had some sort of weird experiences with that though. Like I'm gay. I was at a man's house before COVID, and he was also. Why is it performing fellatio? Like it's a performing art. It's not ballet. Like it's a very different, it's a very distinct thing. If you're performing it, you're not doing a good job. But he was performing the alleged fellatio, and he said his parents were out. And then halfway through, his mum knocked on the door and went, "Stephen, I've just got some Caribbean food. Do you want some?" So it really sort of like took it out of performance into a sort of terrifying new reality. It was really odd. But like the only sort of, I guess the only time it's ever really been performative where I've had the experience of it. Again, before COVID, I went to a sauna, and I don't mean one that Swedish people go to. Like it was one that men go to, and I wasn't really sure what to make of it. And I went into a room. And there was a guy being sucked off by two other men. And it was a bit like when one of them came down his throat, all the like straight side of me came back out. And I just turned around and went, "Go! Back of the net, son! What a strike!" So not allowed to go there anymore. But like the sort of this thing, like fellatio has its advantages though. It's a lot less aggressive form of sex like than other forms. If you just want to sort of relax or you just want to like show your love for your sexual partner in a sort of non-violent way, it's good to practice it. You know, you can do it whatever gender you are, whatever sexuality you are, and that doesn't apply to everything. Like I've done this joke recently actually. I did a sort of the bit about being sucked off, and I was told that I was potentially being offensive to people without penises that don't get that experience. And I don't think that's true. I think the joke was punching up, and being gay, I should know, because what straight and gay people think that punching up is what we do when we joke about straight people. Straight people think that punching up is what I do when I'm fisting a man. All right, that's tangentially in relation to fellatio, but like, what else is there to say about it apart from it just sounds like a sort of something a gay composer would write. Mozart's Fifth Fellatio in D. That's something that's never ever going to be released. I'm glad of it. All right, thanks very much, guys. I better get off to the game. So thank you all for having me, and please remember to stand behind the yellow line to avoid being sucked off. Who by? I'm not sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Wright!
Yay!
Amazing. What a wonderful range of topics there. Quite bizarre from all of you. So fantastic. That's exactly what we're after, exactly what we need right now, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come on to our next game. So our next game is a round of Hashtag Heathens.
Yeah.
Now, in Hashtag Heathens, I've taken a trending topic from Twitter, but I've removed the hashtag. Can my comedians suggest what this person might have been using? There's just one for you this week, and that is, this should be sending a chill down the spine of every worker in Britain. Hashtag blank.
The hashtag the COVID freezer department. Is
I
it?
thought we might have the hashtag freak snowstorm.
Yes, that's
Hashtag-
good.
I wrote hashtag air conditioning because with climate change, more offices are going to be getting super-powered air conditioning units. And the key here for British workers is to make sure that your cubicle isn't directly below a vent, because obviously that will send a chill down the spine of that particular worker.
Hashtag hashtag the temperature on any public transport network. Now we're going back into the office. They're all freezing in winter and boiling in summer with nothing in between, wherever you live in the country.
I thought it might be hashtag every time Jacob Rees-Mogg talks.
Yeah.
Does anyone think they've?
Well, I had two, and the first one was hashtag Dominic Cummings seeks new leadership position, which I felt was self-explanatory. But then I thought, I think I know where this one's going. So I actually wrote down this, and there's a reason I wrote that, which is hashtag rip-off merchants with irresponsible entitled behaviour. And the reason for that is, it's true. About 3 days before Easter, our boiler packed up, and we've got a contract which guarantees 24-hour engineer, and we were given a 3-week emergency call-out date. Am I getting warm?
Getting warmer.
Yes, I think you might be getting along the right lines there. This is, of course, this should be sending a chill down the spine of every worker in Britain. Hashtag stop the British gas fire. So yeah, this is British Gas. Yeah, so this is British Gas, who have used a fire and hire scheme that has forced their workers to sign worse contracts or lose their jobs. The scheme is legal, has provoked and caused fury from lots of people, and caused many politicians to take to social media and say they're standing with the employees of British Gas. Presumably, the employees of British Gas are telling them to fuck up.
It's a disgrace.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, guys, what did we make of this story?
Well, as I said, it's a disgrace. There was the story about, not only me, but there was a 97-year-old woman, wait 3 weeks, 770,000 customers left in the lurch, complaints up 64%, 122,000 work customers lost, and the result, 256 million profit. And you know something? It made my blood boil, but sadly, not our water.
Oh, British Gas, you don't have to be mad to work here. It'll never be a Gas.
I worked at British. I used to work in British Gas call centre, and we call people up trying to sell them smart meters. And all I can say is, as much as this is an awful practice and it shouldn't be going on, £256 million profit. If I'd been fired, been fired and not rehired during that time, I think a lot of people that I'd had to cold call would have been very, very grateful. It would have helped thousands of people. So, as much as I'm sorry it's happening to engineers, I think people like me that had to cold call on their behalf, we would not be any great loss to the workforce.
I don't think I'd like to be an employee for British Gas, surrounded by all that negative energy. Wouldn't work for me. What is their tagline? We provide the solution, or we solve, or something like that. Yes, if you've got employees who have been struggling with stress from the coronavirus, we've got the solution. We'll stress them out without actually thinking about coronavirus. They'll be worrying about their jobs instead. Yay!
Coronavirus made you want to stick your head in the oven, do it in a nationalistic way.
Yeah, yeah. Support a British industry. Support a British government.
Yes, they're going for renewable energy as well, aren't they? So wind, gas, farts, all that.
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. This is our little chance where you guys can pitch some of the shows, things that you've been you're going to be up to in the near future. So, whereabouts can we find you guys? Anywhere you've got gigs coming up? Harry, got any gigs coming up?
I'm doing a preview our show at Midsummer Festival, which is a LGBT arts festival in Australia. Obviously, I'm not actually going there; it's via the computer. But that's coming up soon. If you search H Wright Comedy on social media or Midsummer Festival, that's Midsummer with an A, it'll come up. I think it's about £7. I don't know how currency conversions work, but yeah, if anyone wants to come along to that, feel free. And hopefully getting back into IRL gigs as and when they come back over the next couple of months.
Awesome. Ishi?
Yeah, cool. So please do follow me on socials. I'm at Ishi2Funny. I usually post on there what I'm up to. I've got a gig coming up this Sunday, and I've got a late stage comedy on the 4th of May. So hope you can come to that. That's free. It'll be lovely to see you there. But yeah, just follow me on socials. I've always posted it on there. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, late stage is a great little gig. And Kieran?
Well, apart from trying to just reset, the comedy club I run in South Oxfordshire, and I'm speaking to another venue as well. I've got 2 gigs, and I'll just plug Mirth Control, because Mirth Control organise a lot of gigs and performance around the UK, and I've got 2 Mirth Control gigs lined up. One is in Plymouth, so anyone who watches this is from Plymouth. On the 23rd of July, I'm down at Annabelle's nightclub in Plymouth. And again, that should be a good night. And there's another one coming up at Burton-on-Trent in August. And that's at the National Brewery Centre. So I shall be availing myself of the free glasses.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, we've come to the end of another show. Thanks for coming along and watching. I promised her I'd do it. So, hi, Chloe. Thanks for coming and watching. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hi, Chloe.
So, yeah, as always, guys, well, unlike last week, I promised I'd done it this week, but at 10 o'clock, in fact, right now, show 20 minutes more from last week is going live. So, go and check that out. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you along with us. As always, we would...
2, 3, 4.
As always, I would like to thank all of my guests for coming along and joining me. That's been Kieran Harty, Ishi, and Harry Wright. And please do come and join us again next week. And also go and check out seldomseen.co.uk, our wonderful sponsors who make handcrafted goods made with love and care. Until next week, folks, stay safe and keep well.
It's the 27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except that it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.